Welcome to the IslandStats.com football show, your weekly dose of all the action from Bermuda's top football leagues. We bring you in-depth coverage of the Premier and First Division, results, highlights, analysis, and exclusive interviews. We also keep you up to date with the latest news and developments from the Bermuda Football Association. Stay tuned for the IslandStats.com football show, your one-stop shop for everything you need to know about the beautiful game in Bermuda. Now let's join the IslandStats.com football show team. Well, good evening and welcome to this edition of the Island Stats Football Show here on IslandStats.com. I'm your host, Darrell Bist, and joining me again is co-host Andrew Griffith. And again, we want to wish our other co-host, Garrett Punchy Dill, a speedy recovery as he makes his way back, hopefully, in the next show. But Griff, we've had the quarterfinals of the Shield and Friendship over the last 3 days. Let me just start with the results that we have thus far. Also letting everyone know we also have had the draw, which we'll bring to you shortly, as well as we'll be joined by the president of the Bermuda Football Association, Mark Wade, at the bottom of the hour. So for the Friendship quarterfinals, it was Dandytown Hornets 1, St. George's Colts 0, PHC Zebras 5, Wolves 0, Paget Lions 0, North Village Rams 2, Hamilton Parish 1, Young Man Social Club 0. And in the Shield quarterfinals, it was Somerset Eagles 4-4 with Crossroads. Somerset Eagles would win 3-2 on kicks from the penalty mark after the two teams finished after extra time 4-4. It was Southampton Rangers 2, Boulevard Blazers 3, Vasco 2, Somerset Trojans 4, and that was after extra time. The final game was St. David's 0, Robin Hood 2. Those were the results of the quarterfinals of the Shield and Friendship. I know people would be very interested in finding out what the draw was. Before we come to you, Andrew, let's actually get the draw.
We'll start with the Shield draw. And the remaining teams are Somerset Bridge, Boulevard, Robin Hood, and Somerset Cricket Club. Somerset Cricket Club, Boulevard, Robin Hood, Somerset Bridge. Boulevard, play Somerset Bridge. Robin Hood, play Somerset Cricket Club. So for the Friendship Trophy semi-finals, we have Dandytown, PHC, North Village, and Hamilton Parish. Western Stars, Dandytown, PHC, Hamilton Parish, and North Village. North Village. Play PHC. Hamilton Parish. We play Western Stars.
So there you have it, the draw for the Shield and Friendship. The Friendship on Thursday, Boxing Day, the 26th. At Wellington Oval at 12 noon, we'll see Boulevard and Somerset Eagles play. And then at 2 p.m., it's North Village Rams versus PHC. And then on Friday night at the PHC Stadium at 7 p.m., it would be Somerset and Robin Hood. And then it would be Hamilton Parish and the Dandytown Hornets. Griff, last week when we went off, the game between St. Dandytown was being played in the league match that saw Dandytown win 5-1. Fast forward 5 days later, they're playing in the quarterfinals, and Dandytown was able to get the better of St. George's yet again. This time, 1-0. Very difficult to play a team when you just played them, that same week to play them back again, because the expectations, sometimes some players might feel as if, oh yeah, we beat them easy, so it'll be another night.
Earl, let me just stop you when you fast forward. Going back to the picks last week, I believe since Dandytown won, that means that game would have broke the tie, and I beat you last week for the picks. Is that correct?
Let me see. You took
Dandytown?
Yeah, you took Town. I took a draw. Yes, you would have won that. Yes. All right.
I'm back. I won. So I didn't, after my abysmal first week, I didn't want everybody to lose sight of the fact that I picked correctly. But despite that, I did take a little flack from Coach Carl Lightbourne, who advised that, keeps reminding me I picked against this team the week before. And so he said he told his players, see the streamers picking against you. Make sure you go there and play better. So I want to believe I had a part to play in that Dandytown win.
Okay. Wow. There you go. Well, yeah, they managed to beat St. George's that 1-0. Obviously, when it's cup games, it's a different mentality. And, of course, St. George's would have come in with a different mentality of looking to, first of all, avenge that 5-1 defeat. And, of course, Dandytown will want to, stay in the competition. So, interesting matchup on Friday night.
Definitely. It's the same with, again, I keep using the term Jacqueline Hyde, Hamilton Parish. Everybody, I attended the game today at Rangers with Village and Paget, and people kept talking about Hamilton Parish. I said, hey, they're calling them a cup team. I said, hey, if you win a cup, then okay, I guess you're a cup team, but that they go up and down, and they're to be reckoned with in the semifinals, so they could win another cup.
Yeah. We'll get to their game, but last night at the PHC Stadium, PHC beat Wolves 5-0 to advance to the semifinals. PHC had a host of college kids back in their starting lineup, which bodes well for them, because you've got these fresh legs hungry to show Bermuda what they've been through in their college teams.
So yeah, at the draw this afternoon, I have to say, as a Village supporter, we were a little quaking in our boots when we drew PHC, because that very reason. They have a lot of fresh legs, and they're going to be running hard. So they're not to be overlooked, and I think they will be considered favorites.
Yeah. I mean, but if you look at it as well, North Village got players back. Hopefully everybody's fit and ready to go. It's going to be a day of experience versus youthfulness. And it all depends on which team has the best strategy on the day. The good thing about a team like North Village, Patches was coaching down St. George's last year, so he would have an idea of, how he would want to play on that surface. And PAC again got all those youngsters, and they've won quite a few matches at Wellington Oval over the last 2 seasons. So Boxing Day should be a very, very interesting matchup for that match itself.
Well, let me speak to that. I would have to say, looking at the game today, cricket fit is not football fit. So the cricketers that are returning from national team duty to North Village, they are still, I think, finding their legs, and you can see they haven't played football in a few weeks. So Jonte may well end up being like MVP, but he still got to get back into the groove of things for football.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, I understand that, and we have to look at that as well. Wellington Oval is going to be a big pitch, um, and it all depends on what strategy North Village come up with to play to make sure that they could save their legs in that semifinal. So, and Lord and behold, if it goes into extra time, boy, you got another problem on your hands. But I know if you look at both teams, I think that Thursday will have a large turnout only because of the history between the two teams in name, and people would want to see, I guess, what you would consider two of the best teams on the island go head to head. If you look at the standings, they're top of the table with Dandytown there as well. So it'll be an interesting matchup come Boxing Day at Wellington Oval, 2:00.
And you're absolutely right. I expect this could be, because if both teams are fit and they have the young players there, it should be a fast-paced, action-packed game. And if today is anything to go by, it was a good crowd at Rangers. So on the holiday, I expect it should be even bigger. It should be an entertaining crowd at Wellington Oval, and hope to see everybody in the new Christmas gifts.
Yeah, if you look at today's match at Southampton Oval, where North Village defeated Paget 2-0, it took a while for North Village to get that first goal, but they got it in the second half, and then things settled down when Jonte scored the second goal. North Village would still have some thoughts of when they went to Southampton Oval a few weeks ago and went down to Paget in the league. But here's an opportunity to go back there and redeem yourself in a cup game, as winner, advances, loser goes home kind of thing. This works twofold for a team like Paget, because Antoine would want to win a trophy, and have the opportunity to win a trophy. But on the other hand, he would want to have his players get some rest in before the start of the second half of the season, because if you look at, how many players does he have coming in that can inject life into that team over the Christmas break and give some players a break, as opposed to everybody getting a break, get a little bit of training in, re-energize that message that you want for the second half of the season. And you could do that without having to worry about, we got a game on, Friday night, or we got a game on Boxing Day, and we got a game on New Year's Day.
Yep. Again, I was at the game, and I did get there a little late because I indulged in Christmas parties last night. So the game was going the way of the first game, and by all accounts, Paget should have been up in the first half. Like they dominated, and North Village couldn't do anything. If not for a big miss by Shakir Smith, he was like in the 6-yard box and somehow managed to miss one-on-one. The game could have turned out differently. So once Village got past that, the second half was a different game, and they came more into the game, and they got their first goal, and then Paget went on the heels, and then Jonte got another one. So, but it was a pretty evenly contested match then.
And then the final game, obviously, is that Hamilton Parish Young Men's Social Club game. Two teams, mid-table, bottom half of the table. Hamilton Parish, as we know, already won the Dudley Eve. Now they're in the semifinals of this trophy. Interesting time for them. They have some players that have come back as well to help out their squad. So, it's going to be Dandytown. Dandytown have been a different team of late. and this matchup should be very, very interesting, to say the least, because they'll also have players coming back as well. They also have players coming back into their team, and they were already on a high. And if if Kyle can get that chemistry right for that match, I think it'd be a tall order for Hamilton Parish. But they've already proven that they can handle tall orders.
Yep, and again, like you said, we can throw form out the window if they both have so many college players returning. It could be completely different, and it should be very entertaining to add those players on both sides into the mix on the 27th.
Yeah, that's the Friday night at PHC Stadium. Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's take our first commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk the Shield. And again, at the bottom of the hour, we're going to be joined by the president of the Bermuda Football Association, Mr. Mark Wade. We'll be right back.
Over the pink sands, beneath the cloud blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the long-tails fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, proudly Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset, and every single day, for over 135 years, it's been clear, it's silence for Lee Bermudian, bringing us near. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian.
Putting down the weapons.
You seeing this?
This holiday season, we gather with grateful hearts to celebrate the gifts of family, friends, and faith. Lindo's is here to help you fill your home with warmth and joy, from traditional holiday dishes to festive treats that make every gathering special. However you celebrate, let's help make it memorable. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
And welcome back. Of course, in the Shield on Friday night at BAA, it was Somerset Eagles coming out on top against the league leaders, Crossroads, in a 4-4 battle that went to kicks from the penalty mark. And unfortunately for Crossroads, they could only score 2. Somerset Eagles only had to take 4 and scored 3 of them. To emerge victorious. The game ended after 90 minutes 2-2, and then it was both teams scoring 2 goals in the extra time, and Somerset Eagles even missed a penalty in the extra time period, which they could have won it outright, but they went through that heartache of having to win it on kicks from the penalty mark, and knock out the league leaders, who, I mean, all season we've been talking about a team like Crossroads who looked unbeatable. And, here comes Somerset Eagles team on a night that didn't give up and came away with a place in the semifinals.
Yep, I spoke to the assistant coach on Saturday morning, and he was flabbergasted. He said they were up 4-2 in extra time, and said All they had to do was defend, just blast the ball out. But Crossroads gave up 2 late goals, and there you go. Once you end up in penalties, it's anybody's game. But he said they have the issue. They have a lot of the first team players out with injuries, and they had a thin squad to begin with. So he said maybe it's a blessing in disguise that they were knocked out, because they need to get fit over the Christmas holidays. So he expects in early January, mid-January, they'll have everybody back and they'll be ready for the second half.
Yeah. I'm glad this came up. In a game, yes, they are called penalty kicks because play can resume.
Yes.
After a penalty is taken in a game. But when the game is going to be decided, it's kicks from the penalty mark, because once the ball has been played, it can't be played a second time. And that is why it's called kicks from the penalty mark for the sudden death, for the kicks after the match. So yeah.
Thank you for the correction from our listeners.
Yeah, no problem. And then last night at the PAC Stadium, the other quarterfinal for the Shield saw another long night, and a very interesting night, because Southampton Rangers, rock bottom of the first division, went down 3-2 to Boulevard Blazers. Now, these two teams played, I think it was a few weeks ago, that Boulevard emerged 3-0 victors. And then here comes a quarterfinal, and twice Southampton Rangers led the game, but only to be knocked out and going down 3-2. So, like you say, you throw away all that league stuff when it comes to cup games, because people have a different attitude in a cup game as opposed to a regular league game.
Yep. I joked with Coach Carl Aborn at the game today that, because his team played St. George's back-to-back games, they said, well, if you're tactical brilliance, if you play them twice, you should figure it out and be better the next time. He said, well, they also played us, so they figured it out. So playing teams together, so close together, it's you can't be sure, because you have some familiarity.
Yeah, definitely. And then obviously today, in the first, or the Shield quarterfinal match at Southampton Oval, it was Vasco and Somerset playing. That match went to extra time, where Somerset emerged 4-2 winners. The game ended 2-2 after 90 minutes, and Somerset was able to score 2 extra time goals to put their name in the hat for the semifinals. But again, those two teams played recently, and that ended at 1-1 at BAA. Now they go to a field similar size, as with Southampton Oval, and they're battling back and forth. Again, I keep saying I'm surprised at a Somerset team, although they advanced. Most of these guys played in the Premier Division last year, and I'm kind of still struggling to figure out why they're not really dominating opponents in the first division.
Yeah, like that result does seem a bit strange. So I'm again wondering, does Somerset have additional college players in them that are helping them to change the way that they're playing over the Christmas holidays?
Yeah, it could be the case, because they have a few that were overseas. Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, like that's what makes the games over the festive period so entertaining, because you throw 4 out and a lot of different scenarios can happen. Yeah,
definitely. And then of course, Robin Hood became very youthful. They have an abundance of players back from overseas, and they beat St. David's 2-0 at Wellington Oval to advance to the final as well. It's I guess what they consider when you have a group of players coming back, they call it a breath of fresh air. We remember back during the Dandytown Youth Explosion years, and when a bunch of guys used to come back, Christmas time, and it changed the whole look of the team, because here was an abundance of talent coming back, and kind of got other guys kind of not pushed out, but hold on to that spot, on the bench now, because we've got these talented guys coming back. And, it takes the team to understand that some quality players are back and they can help the team. And the players that we're playing have to understand that, it's not their turn right now. It's somebody else's turn.
Yeah, I can remember in my youth, I remember a bunch of my friends playing for Somerset when I was in college. And due to a lot of the injuries, Somerset basically played an entire college team that came back, and they won the competition at Christmas and rested all of their first team players. So if you have that benefit, use it, and sometimes it can take you over the top.
Yeah, definitely. For those who have missed earlier the draw for the semifinals, we will play that again to allow you to hear the draw for the semifinal. And again, we'll be joined by the president of the Bermuda Football Association, Mr. Mark Wade, after the commercial break. We'll be right. Well, here's the draw, and then the commercial break. We'll be right back.
We'll start with the Shield draw. And the remaining teams are Somerset Bridge, Boulevard, Robin Hood, and Somerset Cricket Club. Somerset Cricket Club, Boulevard, Robin Hood, Somerset Bridge. Boulevard, play Somerset Bridge. Robin Hood, play Somerset Cricket Club. So for the Friendship Trophy semifinals, we have Dandytown, PHC, North Village, and Hamilton Parish. Western Stars, Dandytown, PHC, Hamilton Parish, and North Village. North Village. Play PHC. Hamilton Parish will play Western Stars.
Putting down the weapons.
You seeing this?
This holiday season, Lindo's is making shopping easier than ever. Introducing Drop It's fresh new website launching December 3rd. Shop your favorite Lindo's grocery online anywhere on the island and have them delivered right to your door. This year, stay fresh for the holidays with Drop It. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Pink sands beneath the cloud blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the long-tailed fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, proudly Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset, and every single day for over 135 years. It's been clear, it's silence, proudly Bermudian, bringing us near. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian.
And welcome back. Well, good evening and welcome, Mr. President Mark Wade, to the Island Stats Football Show, and season's greetings to you.
Good evening. Good evening to you. Good evening to Sir Griffith. And good evening to all your fans and people that are watching online.
Yes, yes. Well, I did want to have a conversation with you regarding the president's meeting for CONCACAF recently. One of the things that came up that kind of raised the eyebrow was them or other countries getting involved in the club how you want to call it, almost like Champions League, but through clubs. Last time we had I think it was Dandytown Hornets who participated in it.
I think they were the last team.
Yeah, PHC before that, Somerset as well. But it was a very expensive challenge for the club to raise the funds and jointly with the association. I didn't know how that worked, but how there were talks about that being, I guess, brought back to life in some way. How does CONCACAF plan to have this tournament kind of revived that would allow clubs in Bermuda to take part?
Sure. So there's been quite a few changes in structure over the last, I want to say, about 5 years, right? Right now, so now the competition is structured in 3 different tiers. So you have the CONCACAF Club Championship, which is the top tier, which is with all the professional clubs. Then you have the Caribbean Club Championship, which is a level down, which is professional and semi-professional clubs. And then you have the Caribbean Club Shield, which is generally all of the amateur clubs. And you can qualify from the Club Shield to play in the Club Championship. And obviously, if you do well in the Club Championship, the CFU Championship, then you qualify to play in the CONCACAF Club Championship. So that has certainly just given a bit more opportunity to clubs such as ours, which are all amateur. The other thing in the competition is that it's centralized, so you can go and to one venue, play, I think it's 2 matches, and see how you do. So it's a bit more helpful, certainly to the amateur clubs. Still expensive, so that's not going to change any. Once you have to travel, it's going to be expensive. So our clubs have the opportunity. It's going to take a bit of planning, a bit of foresight to really raise the amount of money that they need to be able to take a travel party of about 25 people to play. The the way we help at the moment is that we certainly offer to do all match operations if there's a match in Bermuda. So we help from that standpoint. We certainly will be able to help in terms of assisting them with travel bookings through our travel partners, this sort of things. Right at the moment, we don't help financially, but hopefully, in the future, maybe there's some assistance on for clubs who want to enter the club shield.
So, just for the listening audience, I had the pleasure many moons ago of serving on the BFA executive with President Wade when his beard was a little darker.
A lot darker.
I speak from the finance side as I was treasurer. I know that over the last 10, 15 years, the dynamics and structure in CONCACAF has changed drastically. Even as much as how we are funded and the TV revenue and everything is different now. So going forward, I know that it was a struggle for clubs in Bermuda to participate financially. So does this change extend to the competition now where it won't be as much of a struggle? I know it's still expensive, but will there be more funding afforded to the amateur clubs that participate?
So that any funding would come from us. And at the moment, we have some projects going on that don't enable us to do that. But that's certainly something that we have our eye on, that perhaps sometime in the future, the league champions will have the opportunity to participate in this tournament, either partially or fully funded by the BFA.
Okay. So speaking of, I take my North Village hat, put it on. Did you want to see that the Bernard Park is soon to be online, thanks to the Light Project? How do you see? I know that the intent was to get more night fields involved to assist us planning out games. So can you speak to that going forward in the new year once that field is online?
I mean, it'll be a tremendous help, because as soon as we can start to spread games out over Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday evenings, it lessens the burden on our referee pool. It's no secret we fly in referees now from other countries, as we're trying to grow our local pool of referees, and we have a very good referee recruitment and training program that's going on right now. And I would say we're some years away from getting to a point where we have enough local referees to be able to have all our matches on a single day. So having light fields, fields with lights, is a tremendous asset to us. The North Village project is probably 2 or 3 months behind schedule. Any number of delays were contributed to that, the biggest one being COVID and supply chain issues. But the lights are up now. All the wiring on site is complete, and we await a Belco connection, a 3-phase connection from Belco.
Congratulations. And I know on the referees, you just had for first time in many moons a referee appointed to the FIFA list. So hats off to BFA, and you're doing wonderful things despite who your referee chairman is.
Our referee chairman is doing well. I think his methods have been successful. So hats off to him and his team, getting us to where we are today.
He's been trying to resign for a few years, but he keeps getting threatened. So yeah,
I don't know who's threatening him. I don't know who that is.
I would say when you've done that much badness, the punishment should be long.
Oh boy. So Mr. Wade, what are some of the other things that came out of these president meetings at the CONCACAF meeting? Because obviously there's an opportunity for all 41 nations to get together, heads of the nations to get together and discuss, what challenges each and everybody's having.
Oh, sure. I mean, we do get together a club with presidents meeting once a year, just before Christmas. This year was a bit nostalgic, to be honest. We had a review of the last 8 years, which is had me thinking. I've been around a long time, so, because President Montagliani and I's presidency are parallel. We were both elected in 2016, so to actually go through that nostalgia of where CONCACAF was and where CONCACAF has come, it had me thinking, well, how far has Bermuda come in this 8 years? So that was an interesting part of it. We were able to get an update on the CONCACAF headquarters, which is being built in the Dominican Republic, which is interesting. Probably having the similar issues that we had with the lighting project, where they're still in the planning stages and tendering and those sorts of things, but still looking to have it completed by the end of next year, or if not before, where CONCACAF will now have a center of excellence in the CONCACAF region, somewhere that can be called home, which will have fields, classrooms, etc. So that update was interesting. What else was interesting, and for me, I'm really looking forward to, is that there will now be a Nations League champions in League B and League C. So rather than just have the champions in League A, now you'll have a championship matches in League B and League C. So that's going to be really, really exciting for the teams that are in those leagues. So not only is there promotion, there is the opportunity to call yourself a champion. So that was interesting as well.
Yeah, that's I saw that as well. Back to the club, and obviously the burden of financing. Does the association still offer the breakdown for league standings at the end of the season, financial?
Yes. So the prize money is still in existence for all of our champions, and it breaks down all the way down to sixth place.
Right.
And the top two from the first division. So there's prize money on offer for this as well.
Would it kind of assist the champions if funding went towards helping them to go to the championship?
Oh, absolutely. It's just that, right now the funding, I think it's $8,000 for the champion.
Right.
But we need a significant amount of money to assist to put a 25 people on a plane and fly them somewhere in our region. It's going to be somewhere in the region of $30,000.
Right. So, I'm pointing in the direction that the winners, that funding that breaks down from 1 through 6, and the 2 promoted teams, that goes towards the championship.
Yeah, that's something that we've discussed. We've got other priorities right now, but hopefully in the future we'll be able to put some meat on the bone, so to speak, to assist the Premier Division champions to participate in the CFU Club Shield.
Sure.
Can I ask something? I know how it worked from an Irish treasurer when we had home and away games for the senior teams. We were responsible for our airfare, and the home team was responsible for all on-island costs. Does it work that way for the club championship, or are the teams that participate responsible for everything?
Well, that's changed all around now. So even at the international level, teams are responsible for all of their own expenses, whether they're at home or they travel. And in the Club Shield, it's very similar, right? Where you are responsible for your own accommodation. Sometimes, and I believe it's the case in the Club Shield, the host country is responsible for training matches, and transportation.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of assistance there.
It's a bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Tengo being
what
got to
the-
pay in
Sorry.
Bermuda.
Yes, that's what I was going to ask. What it happened in Bermuda?
Probably not. To be quite frank, Bermuda is very expensive, and CONCACAF and countries really, we don't meet the budget, and it takes a lot of lobbying to get Bermuda to host anything. So we're fortunate to have the under 17 boys here next year, and that took some work. So it's always going to be tough for us because we're such an expensive destination.
That's it. So then, how did the under 17 come about?
Some work.
Could you be a little more vague, President Wade?
No, I mean we always the last time we hosted the under 20 women, and that was Mercy, quite a few years ago. And basically we have to take the opportunity to lobby on behalf of Bermuda, and we have to talk about the last time we hosted a group, and it would be nice, blah blah blah. We talk about the under 20s, for example. We had more fans than anywhere else in our region watching the under 20s. So those sort of things are what are advantages for us, unique selling points for us, and we just try and wait our turn, but also push our opportunities, right?
Understood.
Yeah.
So we've had a few weeks ago we had Dennis Braun on the show, and I'm fortunate to go every week to join him at Walking Football at Bermuda College. So we're waiting to see when you will show up.
I'm sorry. I sent my representative, my family representative.
Yes, and he had a good time, so but we're still waiting for you.
Yeah, he told me.
Well, Mr. V, let me tell you, the next time you're on this show and he brings up Walking Football, I have the video to show that he don't walk.
Oh, he's out there cheating.
He don't walk.
Hey.
No, I'm talking about the person that brought it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey.
Quite a few of them got a jog on. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
But I tell a lot of the youngsters that they play Walking Football, they say, hey, I'm gonna let you know a little secret. Y'all been playing Walking Football for years.
But again, it's the festive time of the year, Mr. Wade. We've seen the draw for the Shield and Friendship semifinals take place, and obviously the two semifinals, one at Wellington Oval, one at PHC Stadium, and then the final on New Year's Day at Somerset Cricket Club. Teams matchups are there. I think you can't ask for better cup final or semifinals, and then whoever's going to be in the final.
No, that's going to be exciting. We've got 4 teams who are doing well. One who's on the up. The other 3 are pushing along and doing well. So it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to Boxing Day and the day after, and certainly the final at Somerset.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for joining us this evening to give an update, because I think it's important that clubs and people know what's out there in CONCACAF for Bermuda, and basically clubs and players and their fans can have an idea of what is at stake. If you become champions, what's next for you, what you can achieve. So yeah, I want to say thank you very much, and we'll bring this show to an end, and we'll have one more next week, which will be before the final, so we'll be able to talk to you about the semifinals of the Shield and Friendship. Okay?
Sure. All right, sir.
Griff, enjoy, everybody. Have a Merry Christmas, and we will see you next week Sunday for another edition of the Island Stats Football Show. Enjoy your night.
Night.
Right.